I'm in the frame. Hello friends. This is
Sam.
And I'm Shannon, and this is our version of Just the Tip Tuesday this week on Sunday. So we're gonna show some things. We have a program coming up called Yoga University, and one of the workshops focuses on fundamental postures that we do over and over and over again in a yoga class. So those in a vinyasa yoga class. So those are downward facing dog, upward facing dog, and chaturanga, which if you've taken enough yoga classes that aren't workshops, you know you don't really stop and talk about those postures. There's a lot of reasons for that. It's not your teacher being a douche. It's because they've got other things they have to prioritize. But it's an interesting thing because they're used so often and they're usually abused. So what happens is we have a higher rate of injury because of those postures, because we continually reinforce the misalignments. So Sam has been gracious enough to let me, with consent, use his body. And so we're gonna look at downward facing dog and upward facing dog and see if we can just give a couple of tweaks to fix them, to make them more accessible and feel better. And I'm using a lot of the alignment principles out of BKS Iyengar's The Light on Yoga. That is not because I think he's the be all and all, though I love you BKS, but because we need a standard to work with. So that's the standard that I work with. So we're going to start with downward facing dog. So I'm going to go have you come into the pose. Cool. And so what I'm ideally looking for here is less of a rounding in the back and trying to get the heels a little bit further to the ground. So Sam, I want you to go ahead and bend your knees a lot and then try to get your belly to touch your thighs. Okay. So now with all of that, can you tip your tailbone? Think like you're gonna fart on someone behind you. Exactly. And then widen your hands even more. Like take your pinkies all the way out and then, yes, slightly externally rotate your palms and then push your hands down. So can you push your tailbone a little bit higher? Good, yes, get your chest more towards your thighs. Bend your knees a little bit more. Okay, now, see if you can maintain that stretch as you start to straighten the legs. Keep your tailbone that high. Good. So we see, do you feel a little bit of movement here? Good. Go ahead and come down. And I'm going to have you flip over and take a supported fish. So I want you to butt your sacrum up to that. Yep. Lay back on the bolster.
That's right.
Yep. Is your head touching the bolster?
Yeah.
Good. Yeah.
You want it to be?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay,
and then take your arms in a Y shape. You might be able to see, huh? Okay, and just let gravity for a second just hold onto your arms. Okay, so try to let your wrists, almost as if your wrists become flat. How's that feel?
I should do this an hour a day.
Yeah, so Sam's a CrossFitter. He's super fit. You played football?
Yeah.
Yeah, so football stance is here. Yeah, so most of the things were in a flex spine. CrossFit, there's not a ton of extension work as well, or there is, but it's not trained as often. So what happens is the front of the body gets super strong. So something like downward facing dog, where we're trying to find just a slight bit of extension or even neutral spine, is not natural in his being right now. Doesn't mean it can't be. So what we're doing is we're opening up the front of the body a little bit. See if you can start to take your arms more towards like an I shape, yeah. And then let your wrists try to rest. So you'll notice that Sam is having trouble straightening the arms, so you can fully straighten your arm. Okay, and what happens when he does that is his arms come up a little bit because he's tight in the shoulders, he's tight in the back. This is not a character flaw, he's an incredible human being. These are just things that what his normal movement pattern every day does makes tight. So hold that for a couple more breaths. So we're gonna do this stretch to see if we can just get a tiny bit more extension in the spine. This pose is an extended spine. His arms are how they would be in downward facing dog. And then we'll retest downward facing dog, see if we can open it up a little bit more. Take one more deep breath in. Big breath out. Good. Go ahead and bring your hands back by your sides. And sit up. Nice. So let's try it again. Go to downward facing dog.
I didn't want you touching that one.
I don't care. Sweaty people's my business. Okay, yeah. I love starting with the bent knees, and then see if you can bend your knees even more. Tip your tailbone even higher. Get your chest even closer to your thighs. Good. Okay, and then start to straighten the legs just a bit more. Yeah, so for you, I would say bend knees almost all the time. So bend your knees a little bit more. And for Sam, this is a closer shape for the back. Go back to your original downward facing dog. Straighten your legs. So you can see how his back starts to arch, which is true for a lot of us. And where do you feel that the most?
Right in my shoulders.
In your shoulders, because his shoulders are taking the majority of the weight. So bend your knees again. Where do you feel that the most?
Legs and
shoulders, yeah. So we're getting hamstrings and shoulders. Go ahead and walk your hands back to your feet to your hands kind of in the middle of your mat. And just take a forward fold. Good, and same thing here. You can even rest your forearms on a little tent. Same thing here. Think about bending your knees a lot, getting your belly to your thighs, tipping your tailbone up. So this is basically the same shape we're trying to get in the legs, only now we've taken the arms out of the equation, which for you, because your shoulders are tight, this is a great preparatory pose for downward facing dog. So you can move a little bit. Good, take one more deep breath in and out. Nice, slowly come out of that. Move the blocks. Let's try downward facing dog one more time. Bending the knees a little bit, shooting the chest back towards the thighs, turning your hands out more, so externally rotating the shoulders gives him more space in his shoulder. That looks really nice, Sam. Nice improvement. Take a deep breath in. Tailbone high and back, bend your knees a little bit more. Oh, yes. One more deep breath in. And lower down. Nice job. So that's like, how long is this? Okay, that's 7 minutes we worked on this. If you were to do that every single practice, starting to open up your hamstrings more, your shoulders, that's going to keep changing the shape. So
it feels better when you're doing it right.
Does it?
That's what she said.
That's what she said. Just the tip Tuesday here. Downward facing dog. And we'll make another video for upward facing dog. That's what she said.
That was pretty, I couldn't